Hey guys, I'm Jim Bullock, the youth director at the Heights Church. Welcome to our online youth group tonight, and welcome to 2021. I hope you had a great new year, um, and it's crazy that so much has happened in this past year. Coming on Friday will be a year since we launched this youth group, um, so really cool, and that's something that's exciting for myself. Um, that a year ago I didn't know most of you. I knew some of you um, who go to the Heights Church on Sundays, but I still have only known you for a little over a year. Um, but that's just crazy how much we've gone through in this past year. So tonight we're going to talk about the new year. Last week we talked about 2020. This year we're going to talk about what we're going to do in 2021. Um, so, um, I hope you guys had a good Christmas and New Year's. Spent a lot of time with family. I know I did. I got to go home to my hometown and see my parents and my grandma and my cousin and my aunt, and just be able to spend some time with them, and reflecting on the Christmas season, giving some cool gifts, getting some cool gifts. You can probably see some gifts I got behind me, as well as this camera. Um, my parents gave me a camera for my PC setup that I have. And so that's what we're going to be recording off of. But hopefully we won't have to do too many recordings. But maybe I'll be putting out some more videos throughout the week, now that I have this setup. As well as my brother got me that, um, what's it called? Flag banner type thing behind me, um, of Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan. He actually got that for me for my birthday, but that was close enough to Christmas. Um, Hope you guys got everything you were hoping for. And more importantly, I hope you were able to make somebody's day by giving a gift to them. Um, I know that's probably my favorite part of Christmas is, um, giving gifts to other people. I know we've had a lesson since Christmas, but I didn't talk about this then. I'm just started thinking and just started going off the top of my head. Yeah, I love giving gifts so much that my parents and my aunt kept going because I would be the guy who got up to get the next person the gift, and I kept looking for the gifts that I got people because I wanted to see them open it, and they were like, "Jim, you sit down and you open a gift." And at the end, it was just me. It was just me opening a bunch of gifts because I just was like, "Here, take this gift. Here, take this gift," and there wasn't much for anybody else at the end, so I was just sitting there opening gifts. Um, but I hope you got something cool for Christmas, and I hope you were able to give something cool for Christmas. I think one of my favorite gifts I gave is to give my grandma two Bibles, through Samaritan Purse to give to somebody, who doesn't have a Bible. And I gave my aunt, um, I donated money in her name to give someone in another country some chickens, because she has chickens and loves chickens. Um, so that was probably my favorite gift, and she actually had the same idea, and she gave sports equipment to people in another country on my behalf, and those were some of my favorite gifts, because I've got plenty, and it was cool to give to people who don't have so much and aren't as fortunate as we are. All right, so we're gonna get into our lesson. I know I went kind of long on that part. None of that was planned. I just started thinking and talking. Um, but um, all right. So, if you've come to youth group before COVID, we played this game one night called Poop Deck, where we had different sections on the floor marked out, and you ran back and forth depending on what I was saying, and you did funny things depending on what I was saying, and if you didn't do them right, or you were the odd man out, you were out. You guys had a lot of fun with that. Um, and if we were in person, we'd probably have played that game. Or this was before COVID times, we probably would have played that game tonight, um, because it goes along with the beginning of our lesson a bit. Um, I love watching you guys play that game. It is and I remember playing that game in youth group. It's so much fun watching people just run back and forth, doing crazy stuff. Um, Life is a lot like that game. Sometimes we find ourselves running from one area to the next just because someone told us to, or because others are doing it. One thing is certain: if you have given your life to Christ, then you are a new person created for good works. No matter what is going on around you, and and in this new year, your life can make a difference. If you follow the crowd, it can be difficult for you to live that kind of life. God desires, God's desire is that you would be bold and allow the way you live to make a difference that lasts for eternity. If you don't have a relationship with God, as we approach this new year, or as we are in this new year, I should say, this is the perfect opportunity to do something meaningful and chose to live the life devoted to Christ. Let's see what the Bible has to say about the new you. And we're going to read, before we read this passage, if you don't have a relationship with Christ, again, feel free to reach out, and I would love to talk to you more about what that looks like. So we're going to read Ephesians 4:17 through 24. Now this I say and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer walk as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding and aligned from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardness of their heart. They have become callous and have given themselves up to the sensual and greedy, to the practice of every kind of impurity. But that is not the way you've learned Christ. Assuming that you have heard about him and you were taught in him, the truth is in Jesus. To put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and corrupt through deceitful desires and renewing of the spirit of your minds, to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. In this passage, the Apostle Paul is talking to the church of Ephesus. He is reminding them that the way that they should conduct themselves, how they should live as followers of Jesus Christ. The term Gentiles refer to those who are not from Jewish descent. It is also used to categorize a group of people who have rejected Christ. So Paul is telling the Ephesian church not to be like those who rejected Christ and walk in the ways of the world. This passage goes on to say that they are darkened in the understanding because of the ignorance in their hearts. Not only but they have actually darkened their hearts towards God. People who live for themselves don't really take into consideration as to how God plays a role in their lives. And have rejected God. Paul tells the Ephesian church that and us today that this is not the life that God has called us to. You are to put off your old self and put on your new self. Sin no longer controls you. When you allow God to renew the spirit in our minds and put on the new person that Christ has made you, then you can begin to live that life. God made you with the same characteristics that He has. God is loving, compassionate, gracious, full of mercy and joy. The old sinful you is no longer with is no longer who you are today. You are a new person in Christ. As this new year starts, as we're beginning this new year, um, some of you need that reminder. I know I do sometimes. Um, you know, you know it, but maybe you have found yourself between your faith and living like the rest of the world. For those of you who don't know what it means to have a relationship with God, this is a perfect time to start fresh and live for God. God doesn't desire for you to make any resolutions about the things that you're going to change about yourself this upcoming year. Um, God desires that you live for Him, put on your new self, and live the life that can make a difference to the people around you. And yes, resolutions can be a good thing. I know I have a few of things I want to change this year, but He does desire for you to live for Him, and that's a lot of my resolutions are around that, and just becoming a better person in general. So we're going to put up a story on our Instagram of what your resolutions are as well, and how like what your goals are for 2021. Sorry, 2021. It's gonna take some time to get to used to saying that, but um, so yeah, totally lost my train of thought. We're gonna throw that up there so you can tell us a few of yours. I know the one I'm gonna share with you guys is in years past. When I said that when I was saying about that God doesn't necessarily desire you to make resolutions and things to change about yourself, and He desires for you to live for Him. Meaning that He does desire for you to live for Him, um, and like a lot of us, our resolutions are gone by like now, the third, the fourth, whatever. We forget about them. Um, we need to live for Him, and it's good to have those resolutions and those goals, um, but as long as we keep them. I know something that I have fallen in the habit of doing in years past is making a resolution that I'm going to read through the Bible in a year, and I've not done it. Um, that's a lot of reading, and I'm not the greatest reader. And I kind of fall behind by the end of January, and I just forget about it. But this year, I'm gonna read um, through, and I got a little bit of a late start on this. I'm gonna start today, and I'm just gonna kind of catch up on these last 3 days. But I'm gonna read through the New Testament um, instead of the whole Bible, because there are less chapters in just the New Testament than there are days in a year. So it splits up some of those bigger chapters, and it's pretty much a chapter a day. Unlike the Bible, reading the entire Bible, where it's like you're reading multiple chapters a day. In our Instagram bio, I have thrown a link to the plan I'm going to be doing. So I would love for you to join me in that. And there should be a spot where you to write like a response of um, what you've learned that day, so I can see that, and I'll write some too, so you can see what I've been studying and what's been sticking out to me. And the other thing I like about this particular one I picked is it at the beginning of each book, it gives a general background and just walks you through it, the summary of what you're about to read for the next so long. So again, like I said, I encourage you to join me in that, and that link is in our description or our bio. And if you're having trouble, joining that, feel free to reach out to me. Um, so yeah, that's been our lessons for today. Be looking for that link to join us if you would like to do that. If that's something you want to do this year, is read through the New Testament. I encourage you to do that with me. Um, so yeah, that's gonna end our video for today. Um, I'm gonna end in prayer, and then close this out. Hey guys, thank you for today, and I thank you for this new year, and a reminder to start new, and to start new in you, Lord, and that maybe there's someone listening who does not have a relationship with you, that they can talk to someone, talk to me, whoever that may be, about starting that relationship with you, Lord, and starting new in you, leaving our sinful behaviors in 2020, and to go on living in you starting today, Lord. And I pray that if we slip up, we don't get upset and just quit, but that we keep going. Um, we just keep going, Lord. I pray this in your name. Amen. All right, guys. And again, with reading through the Bible, whatever you're doing, I mentioned it in my prayer. If you mess up one day, don't go, "Oh nope, I'm giving up now." No, keep like if it's like reading through the Bible, whatever. Just read the 2 chapters the next day. Keep going. Don't give up, or just say, you know what? I'll push it back and I'll finish it in late January, 2022. That's okay too. Just anything is better than giving up. It's just because you've made a mistake doesn't mean it's over. You can keep going, keep persevering, one day at a time. And whatever, if you're trying to break a habit or whatever your goal is for next year, don't think about that you've got to do this for the whole year. Think about you've got to do it today. And then tomorrow has its own agenda, and to worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Do what you need to do right today. You know, and do right this second. Then the next second, do right again, and then keep going. And if you mess up, oh well, you can't get that time back. Just keep trying to do better each and every second, every minute, instead of think about it all in eternity. Think about it. Think about your actions now. Just wanted to end you with that. I'm praying for you. If there's anything I can do for you, feel free to reach out.